is going to be about preparing for the trip. So for like in my case, so I'm just sharing what happened to me, you know, like what's my experience was and how I prepared for it, and it worked out pretty well. And so this is what I did. First off, found the trailer. I was looking for a specific trailer with specific layout. It's 31 foot in length from bumper to the ball. So this is what I got. So with all the specs, I needed to find out, make sure my vehicle is good for towing. So to find that, I went on the website. You know, you look it up and the information is a little misleading. Some say 9,600 pounds for this year, then you look at the new year, it shows a lower towing capacity, like on Toyota's website or some other websites, like automotive websites. So I'm like, okay, what's going on? How do I actually find it? So the best way is to go in your owner's manual, look up under towing capacity or towing, and then they give you charts. At least that was in my owner's manual in Toyota. Look at the chart. It gives you, you know, the engine size, four-wheel drive, and then it gives you a code. So then you go to the panel where your driver's side door is. You look on the panel on that VIN, on the sticker from the factory with the VIN number and all that information, tire pressure. There's that code in there. So I matched that code to that code, so it came out 9,600 pounds. So my trailer is within the limits of the vehicle. So once I got that, oh, and that's with the towing package. I'll talk about towing package. So with towing, so what that means, a towing package or no tow package, it means you have not just hitch receiver in the back. So you might not have it, I guess, depending on the vehicle. So in my case, it has a receiver in the back, has a 7-way plug and a 4-way plug. It has separate, I believe, separate radiator for oil, engine oil, separate radiator for transmission fluid. It has additional, I think, fan or fans to cool them down. It has a bigger alternator and a wiring harness for the brake controller. So that what encompasses the towing package. So that what makes this vehicle capable to tow more weight. So it keeps it cool, all the fluids and everything, so the engine can safely do that. So if you don't have hitch receiver, your vehicle is capable to tow it, but you have no hitch receiver, you got to install one. So you can find them probably local places around. You can browse on Amazon. They have hitch receiver options out there by different brands. I've bought my front hitch. I'll make a video about that. Front hitch from them, no problem. Ship it right to your door. Great. Take it out of the box, install it. It's great. U-Haul, I think you can get them, but make sure you get the right class hitch. Make sure there's 3 or 4 categories of hitches. I'm just saying on top of my head. I'm not a professional at this. So I think it's like 2,000, 5,000, and 10,000. And they have a different size tube. I think for all or for some, like under 2,000 pounds, very small, like 1.25 inch. I think it's a 2-inch for up to 10,000. Don't quote me on numbers. You have to do your own research. And then their ball sizes are different too. The heavier you go, like after 5,000 pounds, it's a different size ball. So you have to look into all this stuff yourself. So that you have to look into. Your hitch system. In my case, I went without the hitch system. So I'm talking about the ball or the weight distribution hitch. and I'll make video on that as well, different types of hitches. So in my case, I went without it. My backup plan was to buy it, and I think I talked on the phone about the hitch, and the guy said he's gonna give me a hitch. I think that's how I went, or I asked him on the spot, I forgot. But anyhow, I got the hitch with the trailer. I got the weight distribution hitch. So that brings us to payload. So the payload's also important. You can look that up also in your owner's manual for your payload, or sometimes it includes on the sticker of the vehicle. So your payload, it gives you a number for your payload. Then your trailer tongue weight should be around from 9 to 11%. So if you take 10%, if you load your trailer to the full capacity with all the weight, it'll weigh 8,700 pounds, right? So 10% is about 870 pounds. So if you use just a regular, ball, you just put the trailer on it. So you'll put 870 pounds on that, on the rear end of the vehicle. So it'll sag quite a bit. And your payload capacity minus 870, this is what you're going to be left with, the weight that's for your passengers, for your cargo, and everything else. So you also have to look at that. If you buy a very heavy trailer and you want to put a lot of cargo in the car, that might not be an option, because you just don't have much room for the payload. So that you can actually reduce that, improve that, by putting the weight distribution hitch. So weight distribution hitch distributes the weight across 3 points: the front axle of the vehicle, the rear axle of the vehicle, and one or both axles on the trailer. So you can cut that weight, like you can take 1/3 off of that weight, almost 300 pounds, like, give or take. So from 870 you go down to like 5 something. So that definitely improves your payload capacity by having weight distribution hitch. On top of that, it improves your handling, because you have lots of weight just in the back. This way you distribute some of that weight up front. So it's much better setup. So this is what I got. It was a game changer. Then you need brake controller. So with the tow package, I had the wiring plug already installed in the vehicle. So I found a decent brake controller with the good reviews on Amazon, and I noticed they were selling the wiring harness specifically for a Toyota. So it has 2 plugs on both ends, one for my brake controller, and the other end it has a Toyota plug on it. So all I had to do to just mount on the dash, plug the wires into the controller, and then run the wire to the other side, find the plug, which was buried in the wiring harness. If you have Toyota Sequoia, this is where to find the plug. At first I could not find it. I went on forums and they told, like, oh, it just buried between the wires. So I moved the wires around, I found it, plug right in, and then you just have to hit some kind of screw on the body for your ground, and that's it. That thing was easy. And then you adjust the settings on the brake controller. My vehicle is pretty wide, and I was getting wide body trailer, which is 8'6". So even with my big mirrors, I can't see past the sides. So I get to get a mirror extensions. So you can get different kinds. You can get snap-ons and with straps and all kinds of things. I chose strap-ons at first, but they're not great looking, and I don't know if they'll stay for a long time. If somebody hits it, they snap off. But anyhow, so I went to slip-ons after that. So I can put links to both. I mean, the other ones they're not too bad at all. So I got the slip-ons because they just look much better, and I always keep them on. And they slip right on the mirrors, tighten them up, and They're always there. I thought at first they stick out too much. I have to take them down every time I'm not towing anything, but I kept them on for months, and it doesn't bother me at all. I mean, on the parking lots when it's tight, you have to go around. But other than that, it's not too bad. So you gotta get mirror extensions so you can switch the lanes and everything, so you can see past the sides. Then I took some extras with me just in case. So I took jump starter, which is great. It's slightly bigger than I think iPhone Plus. It's about an inch thick, has 2 USB ports, has a flashlight, and it jump starts your vehicle. Works great. I love it. Like, this vehicle was sitting in the garage for a little bit, so the battery depleted, and I couldn't start the car. And I was there with my father-in-law, and he kind of looked at me, and I'm like clip them on, and I'm like, oh, we'll see. I haven't done that before. And he turned that key on, and things fired right up. It was kind of like mind-blowing. You look at the size of that thing, the short little wires, and look at the car, look at the battery, engine. It's a big V8 5.7. That thing fired right up. I was like, wow. I couldn't believe it. My father-in-law looked at me. He's like, I didn't think that thing would do anything. So it works great. Love it. And you can charge your phones. Got 2 USB ports. You can charge your phones on the fly. I plug in cameras sometimes for recording, so the batteries don't, deplete on the cameras and stuff. So it's a great thing to have. Just keep in mind, time to time, you have to go and charge that thing. It has a USB cable. You just plug right in the cigarette lighter, charge it up. So periodically take it out, make sure it's always topped off, so when you need it, you have it. So I carry that in the glove box. Fits in the glove box or on an armrest. That thing is great to have on hand at all times. Like, even backup power. It has a flashlight in it. Then I bought a compressor. It's a small little compressor. Plugs in the cigarette lighter. Has a, it's a decent length hose on it. Has light built into it, so you can see what you're doing in case you do have to do it at night. And it has it's a digital digital display, and you can set the PSI. You can set like 35 PSI. Put that thing on. It shows you what's the PSI at the moment. You click the button, pumps it up to 35, and shuts off. So the thing is great. I use it all the time for bikes, for tires, you name it. That thing is great. Same thing, a little bag, throw in the back of the car, fits perfect. I haven't used on the trailer yet, so I haven't had to use it on the trailer, but I use it for everything else, and that thing is awesome. Love that thing. Tire repair kit, just in case, carry that with you. So I bought just a regular, it's like the tool to puncture the tire, to make the hole bigger, clean it. Then you got the rubber strips, then you got a cement, and you have the insertion tool. So I just threw them also with the compressor. They're all in there, so in case I need to use it on the road. So I took that, and I took the variety of tools, the socket set, and all that, just to have it on me. When I went, or you have to go on a trip, make sure you give yourself enough time. For instance, give yourself a little extra time, because you're going to be going a lot faster one way going there if it's far away, like in my case. Or if you're looking for Airstream, it might be the case, because they don't have them nearby unless you get lucky. So going there would be fast, because you can go fast, and the way back you're going to be going a lot slower. So I would take extra time just in case, because you'll be driving back to back. So when I went to pick up my trailer, it was 1,100 miles. I went there in the fall season. It was cold, so make sure you dress appropriately, or have clothing with you to accommodate that, because you never know. You could be in the southern region or by the coast, much warmer, and you go there, it's cold, so you have to keep that in mind. I didn't think it would be that bad. Didn't anticipate on that. So I left, went there, it was like 70s, 80s. When I got there, it was sleet, a little bit of snow, rain, really cold. So that's what I encountered. So I stayed one night in a motel, the other night in my brother-in-law's house, picked up the trailer and drove right back home. Didn't know where to park for the night. I was gonna park at Walmart. Couldn't do it, they don't allow it, so I was able to park at Hobby Lobby. Slept there in the trailer on the parking lot, and then I drove back the rest of the way, and it was exhausting. Very stressful because we haven't towed something that big and heavy. It was a little stressful. I mean, I was exhausted by the time I got back home, and the next day I had to go to work. So I got home late, 9 or 10 o'clock, driving in the pouring rain. It was challenging. That was a good experience for the first trip. So I would recommend, make sure you have extra day. You can go to truck stops, so you don't have to freak out about where to find a spot where I can sleep over with the trailer. Because I mean, motel, we just park and go to motel and sleep. With the trailer, I mean, I guess you could go to motel, but I got to find out. But anyhow, you can go truck stops. I mean, you have campsites available around the season when you can go, because I think around that season, I think most of those campsites are closed, because it was pretty cold out there. I don't think the campsites were open. So anyhow, this is my experience. So if you're interested in any of those products, if somebody wants to look them up, I just put them in the description below. You can look into and see. And yeah, that concludes this video.